Fingers and toes crossed.
I know, we're multitasking.
I know, how good are we?
Oh, I'm going to have to do something with the sound. Is that right?
Well, I'm turning the sound. I don't want the sound coming out of my laptop, which I've turned off so it doesn't me.
All right, let's do that. Let's see if that works.
I still haven't seen your live come up it's in the group, yeah?
Yeah.
Not
in the group, sorry, on the Facebook page. My fault.
Oh, okay.
I know.
Hello, everyone.
Yes, I know. If you've joined us tonight, we're going to be talking about Polycystic Ovarian Syndrome. If you've joined me on Facebook on here, just let me know if you can hear properly and that's coming through okay. And if you're on Instagram and you can hear us okay, just give us a bit of a wave as well. So
I think it's going to be a bit of trickiness to this, Nancy, because I'm an admin of your page and it thinks I'm you.
Oh, no.
I've just realised that.
Great.
Okay, hang on. Let me see if there's something that I can do. But continue on while I try and troubleshoot this.
No worries. So tonight we've got a double bonus, if you like. I'm going to be talking about polycystic ovarian syndrome, which so many people over the last few months have asked me to talk about, whether it's treatment modalities, how to treat the actual you're not treating the condition, we have to remember that, but we're only going to be managing the symptoms. So how to help with managing the symptoms, whether it's a device through our devices or whether it's through skincare. Like I said, lots and lots of people have been asking, about hormonal hair and how to treat it. But tonight specifically, I'm going to be talking about polycystic ovarian syndrome and what it actually what treatments actually help. So we've got MB Mossman Hughes is saying just what I need. So what, you need Chrissy or you need the PCOS information?
It's Marnie Ray. I know who Marnie Ray is.
Okay. So for those of you who are wondering what is Chrissy doing here, she never pops up. Well, not never, hasn't popped on my live for a little while. She's saying both. Oh, yeah, I've got Chrissy on here because I think it's we've got a bit of a challenging market right now, and what a better way to help us sell our services than the professional and the expert herself, Chrissy. Hello, Chrissy. You're on Facebook now.
Hello, everyone. Yeah, I'm on Facebook now. I've commented, but I don't know how you might add me to the live.
Of course. Do you think I remember from when I did it a few weeks ago?
Can you just invite me? I've just said hello in the chat. Can you just invite me or something like that?
Let me have a look.
Because anyway, I just don't want Facebook land to miss out on what I've got to say.
Yeah, I know, because it's really important.
It is.
How crazy is this that I needed it not long ago and I'm struggling?
So I don't know whether you can add me in the comment, those comments there, if you can add me or something like that.
No. Oh, well, we might have to do it again. How bizarre is that? It usually comes up with add person, but it's not doing that today, of course. Because I did it only a few weeks ago. Share to a page.
Can people hear my voice there on Facebook? I don't know. Yeah, we're both on Jan saying, you're both on. That's on Insta.
That's bizarre.
Are we both on Facebook, Jan? But she's on Instagram, so she wouldn't know.
Blocked. Community managers. It's weird. All right.
Can you do joint Facebook Lives still on Facebook? I don't know. That we might not be able to do that.
Well, I only did it a few weeks ago with Pia. So
Oh, did you?
if anyone knows, let me know. Kate's saying yes on Facebook. All right, they're going to hear you. Do you have anything to share, like visual?
Oh, okay. If they can hear me, that's okay. You just won't see my big mug on the screen.
Oh, bugger.
That's all right. All right. So that's good. As long as everyone can hear me, that's the main thing.
Yeah.
I thought I'd pop on with Nancy tonight for a couple of reasons. I did a live today and I had so much inbox and response about the live that I did on, I suppose, the powers that be are not calling it a recession because they've obviously, what they've done is they've changed the criteria of how to classify whether we're in a recession or not. Don't know what that means or what the motivation behind that was, but we're definitely facing interesting times in business because as you may be feeling or knowing out there in business land, buying behaviour of clients have changed due to a few reasons. Obviously, we've got cost of living expenses have increased. We've got interest rate rises are chewing up the disposable income of our clients, and we're finding that clients may be a little bit more reluctant to be handing over their hard-earned dollars in the clinic. So that might be showing up for you in terms of clients that would typically take, all of the home care without even blinking an eyelid, umming and ahhing and being a little bit conservative, I suppose, with their spending. And that has honestly sent a lot of business owners, particularly, there's business owners as part of my coaching pursuits, but also I've got a marketing agency as well in the industry. And, the feedback is that the industry are struggling a little bit. There's fear there. There's, what does this mean for me if clients aren't spending as much as they used to? And really my feedback on that is there are methods and means for recession-proofing your business. All right? It just means that you might need to do things in your business that you might not have thought about doing before. And I'll share with you some of those ideas in a moment. But there's no reason why you can't get ahead of the curve in terms of setting up your business for the economic challenges that we're experiencing at the moment. You don't need to accept that people are just simply spending less money. You don't have to make less money as a result of that. And I know that because I've seen it firsthand with the businesses that I work with. Yeah. Some of the businesses that I'm working with at the moment are having some of the biggest months on record. I can see some of those clients watching me now, actually. Hey, guys. So there's no reason why the economy should be dictating to you kind of limitations in your business if you're prepared to do things differently. So what I've got especially for the audience tonight, for Nancy's audience in particular, is I've got some big events coming up on the Gold Coast at the JW Marriott. But the reason why I want to share that with you is because there's been a special release of tickets to Nancy. And these tickets are not actually available to the general public to purchase. So we're not selling these on Facebook ads or as part of the ticket complement, but we're actually gifting these tickets or what's included in the tickets as a special offer to our sponsors. Yep. Okay, and in those tickets, I believe are the recession-proofing tactics that you need to put in place in your business right now to get ahead of the game, all right? So one of those tactics that we spend 2 days with you working and planning with you is a business strategic plan. Okay, so there's a lot of business owners out there that I would say fly by the seat of their pants. They don't know where they're going to be next month, let alone in the next 6 months. And that's a problem because how can you create a sense of certainty in your business and your revenue, your profit for your team members if you've got no planning in place, no structure in place, no methodology for creating certainty or planning your success in advance. So we show you over those 2 days exactly how to do that, because business planning is it's not an easy thing to do. It can be quite challenging, but having a really good structure and support of where to even start, I think, is really important to having an impactful and successful business plan. So we spend 2 days on that. The other element that we are training around, it's actually a 3-day event, which is super exciting. The other day is actually an event just on the psychology of sales. So I don't know whether you guys have ever seen my psychology of sales content. It's super cool. It's very unique and different in the industry. My background, obviously, I'm a psychologist by profession, but I opened a skin clinic, and the success of that skin clinic comes from the way that I applied psychology to my consultation processes. And now more than ever, if you've got clients that are not investing, if they're not committing, they're not doing what they used to do, it is seriously time to look at the psychology behind your consultation processes, because there is probably elements of your consultation process that is no longer serving you. It's not working for the client. It's not working for you, because you really do need to up the ante on the quality of those consultations to get the clients to commit at the same level that they used to before the disposable income became a little bit pressured. Okay, so if you're experiencing that tightness in spending, it's so opportunistic and timely that you actually come along to the Psychology of Sales event and start looking at the components of your consultation and how to actually increase value for your clients, and also be able to ethically meet the needs of your clients through prescription and recommendation. So it's very different to just the education side of things for consultation. It's, education's important, but it's actually not the thing that sells, believe it or not. And it's a very unpopular opinion that I present often in the industry, because it's what everyone knows, right? We're told, if you just educate people, they'll buy. And for those of you that are in the know and have been frustrated by that from time to time, you've educated your clients beautifully and they've still said no at the end of the consultation process. You will understand firsthand that it's not just education that's going to sell your treatment plans and your home care prescriptions. 99.9% of it is psychology. All right, so there's 3 days worth of recession-proofing content that we are going to train and develop business owners across those 3 days. In addition to that, right, we are also offering those attendees 6 weeks worth of coaching with me, okay, Team Chrissy, that is. So this package is worth about $3,000.
Yeah.
So it's a ticket to Psychology of Sales, a ticket to a 2-day business planning event, plus 6 weeks of coaching with Team Chrissy, and those tickets are $495.
Yep.
All right, but you can only get those through Nancy. Okay, you can't buy our website or anything like that. So Nancy, I know you've got a purchase link somewhere. You can pop that in your comments for your listeners. But I'd strongly advise, if you're sitting there watching this thinking, my business is not where it needs to be, and there's, how can I really optimize my clients' commitment, their results, their enthusiasm, their motivation for what we're doing, you need to get to these events.
Yep. All right. And what I'll do is I'll put it in the Facebook group there, because we don't save the Instagram, what do you call it? Or should I put it in our...
Yeah, so...
Anyway.
You can always, on Instagram, you can always DM Nance.
Okay.
And just say, can you give me that link for those tickets? Like I said, to the average Joe that come along to those 2 events, as well as 6 weeks worth of coaching, they'd be up for about $3,000. So
amazing.
$500.
There we
Absolute
go.
bar.
All right, there's that link there in Instagram, and I'll do the same on Facebook as well. I'll have to do that. Let's see if I could do that now.
And also, guys, if you're worried and you need some help or you need some more guidance, just DM me. Like, just reach out and I can help you if there's questions that you've got from what I've shared with you today. Or you know, you just need some additional support, please reach out to me in the DM.
Yep. Fantastic. Thank you so much. And sorry about the whole Facebook thing, but you know, who was on could hear you anyway. Yeah.
That's okay. We'll know for next time, I suppose. We might do a trial run next time.
I don't know why. It did work. It was only a few weeks ago that it worked. So anyway, it is what it is. Even the look actually changed today, and I looked at it and I've gone, oh my God, that's different. So anyway. All right. Well, thank you, Chrissy. That's such an amazing offer. And so, yes, if you're wanting to come to this event, I'll actually be there as well. So if you're wanting, I'll be there as well as some other amazing sponsors and attendees. So the link is there. Just select TADLI, the Australian Dermal Laser Institute, when you're selecting which provider, and you'll get access to those tickets, which are super, super inexpensive. So how amazing is that?
Beautiful. Well, thanks for having me, guys.
Thank you. I'll see you.
Enjoy your little sesh with Nancy.
I know. We will. All right. Have a good night. Say hello to Peggy.
I will.
Bye.
See you guys.
Bye-bye. All right. So thank you for joining me, and I just thought I'd quickly get Chrissy to come in and join us for that, because that is an offer that you shouldn't be missing. I think it's, you know, for $497, you're getting $3,000 worth of value, and right now, you know, obviously there's a lot going on in terms of the psychology of sales and how to market and how to plan, and so we're in it together. But now I want to talk to you all about Polycystic Ovarian Syndrome, so PCOS. I don't know what I've done to Facebook, so I can't see the comments on here anymore. Oh yes, I can. There you are, down there. So I've just played around with the settings. So Polycystic Ovarian Syndrome essentially is a hormonal disorder, if you want to call it that. It affects, you know, a wide range of women of many ages. It could be as young as, you know, 15, 16, and as old as, you know, however old, right? Usually in their 30s and 40s. Some people find out by accident because they can't fall pregnant, and some people don't really ever find out because, you know, oftentimes their doctors will do a blood test, and oftentimes not in the right timing of a female's cycle, and the doctor will say, hey, there's no problem there, you're within range. However, a blood test isn't going to be the most accurate. I strongly feel a saliva test is going to be a lot more accurate than a blood test because of what we call unbound hormones. So in a saliva test, unbound hormones show up, whether on the other hand, with a serum testing, you've got bound hormones only showing up, which isn't giving us the true insight into what's going on with the androgens. The other way to check for PCOS is via an internal ultrasound. You can try to do an external ultrasound, but oftentimes the doctor will turn around, or the actual person that's doing the ultrasound, the ultrasonographer, will actually say that they need to do an internal ultrasound. So medically speaking, they're the ways to get diagnosed. Otherwise, there are telltale signs, and these signs could be unwanted hair. Now, this hair could be, and it's usually on the face, the lower part of the face. It could show up on a female's chest, and also, and rarely, but it can also show up on their back as well. But typically we find it is on the chest, and it takes place in, you know, where that beard is. And usually that is due to an elevated level of testosterone or androgens. And that is because of DHT, so dihydrotestosterone. So there's too much of that circulating around the body, and these little cysts start to grow on the ovaries. And these cysts are full of androgens, of course. There are ways to reduce the cysts. There are ways to, I think they ablate them now, but either way, that is out of our scope of practice. All I'm here tonight is to talk to you about reducing the symptoms. So I just spoke about hair, but the other symptom is acne. So typically they go hand in hand. The old client might have a fair bit of hair or more hair than necessary, and they may also experience a little bit of acne as well. The other thing that we can physically see when a client comes in and says, look, I've got this hair, I've got a bit of acne, we can also see that they carry a little bit of weight, and usually this weight is around their stomach. And they actually become insulin resistant. And so what then happens is they find it really hard to shift that weight. They can go on a diet, they can exercise, but they really find it hard to shift this weight. So that's the third sign that PCOS might be present. And then the fourth sign, or what I generally will ask my clients is your periods, are they regular? So are they menstruating regularly, or is their cycle regular? And generally speaking, if they're off by a day or two, it's not a big deal. But anyone with PCOS, usually it's several weeks out of a cycle, or they won't get their period for several months. So they're the four signs that, generally speaking, they don't have to have all the symptoms, or they don't have to show any of the symptoms, but usually it's excessive hair, unwanted hair, it's acne, it's carrying weight, and also the irregular periods. And therefore it becomes very hard for those clients to fall pregnant. So if you have a client who walks in and you can definitely see these things happening, I would suggest that they go see an endocrinologist or go get some testing done. Like I said, internal ultrasound or saliva testing are going to be your best bets. And then let's look at how we can reduce these symptoms. How can we reduce the hair? And how can we reduce the actual acne itself? That's all we're going to do. We're only going to manage the symptoms. We're not going to treat them. Really important you are careful with your language, because we're not going to treat the PCOS. We're only going to manage the hair and the acne. Now, there are different things your clients can do, but from a medical perspective, they can look at biosynthetic hormones, or they can look at going on the pill. It's not obviously ideal, but if they're that desperate to manage their hair, they can look at going on the pill. Like I said, it's probably not my favorite thing to get, especially someone so young, to do. But, if they're that sort of desperate, and if they're still not happy with the hair reduction we're doing with different methods, then potentially they can look at doing something else to increase or to reduce the excess, increase estrogen and progesterone, and decrease the DHT, the testosterone. Now, looking at products or devices that we can help with treating, what we could do is look at, and it depends if you've got an IPL or not. If you do, the 415 nanometer filter would be ideal. Now, with the 415 filter, it is a photochemical reaction we're looking for. It's not a photothermal reaction, so we're not looking for a lot of heat in the skin when we're treating acne. It is just a little bit of the tiniest bit of warmth. What actually happens is light hits the actual porphyrins that are in the white blood cells of that pustule, and that those porphyrins convert into O2 molecules. These O2 molecules are then will destroy the bacteria, will actually help with cellular respiration, will reduce the severity of the acne, and the lifespan of the acne itself. If you don't have a 415 filter, either the 415 or 420 will work, but if you don't have that, you can try your LED. Most LEDs have 415, 420 or thereabouts, you know, to treat acne. So you've got your IPL, you've got your LED at 415, and red for quicker wound healing. Same principle. That 415 will actually convert the porphyrin into O2 molecules, reducing the severity. Now, failing that as well, if you don't have a blue LED, if you don't have a 415 or 420 filter, you can try your 530. So there is some absorption with the 530 filter when we're treating over a pustule. And so you're going to get some reduction. Now, when you're treating acne, it is not just the one pass that we're performing. It is about 3 passes at 20 milliseconds. So you want a longer pulse duration, and you want to go over that pustule several times, between 2 and 3 times, just to expose that actual lesion to the light for it to be the most effective. And we're treating every, say, 3rd day with your LED or IPL. So they're both very effective at reducing the acne, along with products. So potentially you could look at a vitamin B, niacinamide. And niacinamide is great at reducing sebum, reducing the inflammation, amongst other things. You could look at different ampules or serums to infuse into the skin. So vitamin A is actually another one that's going to help with reducing the acne. So our product, which is the Skindividual Activate or Accelerate, has retinaldehyde in there, and that is going to help reduce the severity of, not the severity of acne, but it reduces the amount of sebum that the skin is producing, along with other serums. So you could be looking at things that are going to help slow down or dehydrate that particular pustule. When you're combining serums in clinic, when you're doing a treatment, infusing them with either ultrasonophoresis or electroporation. Some of you might have already purchased our Apollo device. If not, Apollo is amazing for infusing, not only through iontonophoresis, but also electroporation, where it actually opens up, I guess, the cell walls, creating these tiny little pores, which allows transdermal delivery of these products. So that can also help with reducing your acne breakouts, if you like. Now, the other thing that will help in terms of devices that will help with hair this time is, there's a few things. There's laser. There is IPL, which I love IPL because not only are we going to reduce the hair in the follicle when performing SHR, we're also stimulating collagen and elastin because of the amount of light we're pushing into the skin via SHR versus, say, laser. So, with IPL, you do get fibroblast activity, but with SHR, you're going to get even more fibroblast activity, as well as reducing the amount of hair that's on the face too. However, once the hair gets really fine, you'll find SHR isn't as effective as stamping. So you want to move from your SHR for the finer hair to your stamping because you need more energy per pulse to help with reducing the amount of hair. Hey, Tanisa. Okay, so SHR is going to help. Now, with SHR or IPL or any type of hair removal, the frequency will depend on how much hair is growing and how fast this hair is growing. The faster the hair growth, the closer your treatments are going to be. So let's say you've got a client who is plucking or shaving on a daily basis, then you might want to be treating her every 2 to 3 weeks. Whereas if you've got a client who's removing the hair, let's say every few weeks, then we're treating every 4 weeks. So just remember that the faster the hair growth cycle or the faster the hair comes, then also the closer those intervals are needed. Once the hair starts to slow down, we can start to extend our treatments. So instead of every 4 weeks, we can move it to 6. Every 6 weeks, we can move it to 8. So it just depends on how fast the hair is growing. Now, for hair growth, like I said, you've got your laser, you've got your IPL, you've also got electrolysis. So if you're finding that you've got a number of people who, have PCOS or facial hair, and you're not wanting to invest in an IPL or a laser device, then for as little as around $3,000, you could purchase an electrolysis device, and you'll need training on top of that, of course, but it's a nice, inexpensive way to actually remove unwanted facial hair or hairs from smaller areas. So electrolysis is a great way. If you're wanting, we've actually got a special in our course at the moment. We're looking at $3.99 for our theoretical component only for electrolysis. So hop on our website and purchase one of those if you're interested. So electrolysis is definitely a way of removing unwanted facial hair, and permanently as well, regardless of what phase the hair it's in, whether it's in anagen, catagen, or telogen, which is great. And of course, and I've gone over just because I had Chrissy speaking, but of course we've also got skin needling. So after skin needling, we'll talk a few more products, but skin needling would be good for the actual scarring that the acne has caused. So needling isn't going to necessarily help with the hair or the actual acne itself, but it will help once you've got the acne under control. Skin needling will then help with the actual acne itself. So, most people ask me how often they're skin needling. You'll have to attend my training to find out why, but we say every 7 to 10 days we perform needling. And, I had my needling session about 10 days ago, and it was pretty aggressive. It was pretty bloody. And my skin has recovered really nicely. It probably took about 4 or 5 days for it to recover, and I'm ready to needle it again. So you can do your needling close up. Like I said, if you want to find out why and the depth and all sorts, then you'll need to hop on to one of our needling training sessions. Now, the other thing I want to talk about before we leave, and I'll just quickly check for comments before I move on. Here we go. All right. Hello, Sue. All right. So the other thing that I wanted to discuss is 2 products that we have for PCOS that are going to help manage both the hair and the acne. So the first product is something called Vita Boost, which is a vitamin B serum. So it's going to help with, and it's got niacinamide, mind you, and a whole heap of other Australian botanicals so that come from our outback, which is really cool. All of our products are Australian made. So with your Skin Individual Vita Boost, it's going to help not only just the melanin transfer, but it's also going to help regulate the serum production and also balance the pH of the skin itself. And reduce the inflammatory response and sensitivity in the skin. So vitamin B is actually quite an amazing, vitamin B, Vita Boost is quite an amazing product for pretty much all skin types, but especially for your acneic skin that comes as a result of, PCOS. The other product we have is called Hair Halt. Some of you may have heard of Hair Halt. Basically, it's a pretty lightweight, oil-free hair reducing serum. And it's not just reducing the amount of hair. I'll tell you how it works. So what it does, and it's comes from a desert shrub called Laurea derivicata. It actually blocks your DHT. So we know with PCOS there's an increase in DHT, in your dihydrotestosterone. So this actually blocks DHT converting to its active form, and that's going to help inhibit hair growth and also slow down the rate of cell renewal and reduces the amount of acne breakouts that are caused by PCOS. So with Hair Halt, you can use it after waxing, after laser, IPL, or your clients can take it home to use on a daily basis. They do need to use it daily for this to work. But of course, it does come in a professional size as well. So it comes in 30 ml and also 120 ml. And all of our products are more than 100% markup. So that's pretty healthy. So they're the two products that we recommend. So when we're looking at a holistic approach, you might look at, like I said, getting a GP or an endocrinologist on the same boat as you, on the same page as you. You might look at doing a few different treatments, giving them some skincare, and also potentially some supplementation. So last but not least, zinc. Zinc and essential fatty acids definitely will help with the wound healing process that the acne has caused, or the wounds that the acne has caused. So getting your clients onto a zinc would help their skin immensely. Anyway, that was full of lots and lots of information. Hopefully you found that beneficial. Like I said, we've got a few different specials going on at the moment. So we've got till the end of April rather, we've got a massive 15% off our Apollo Duet, which is going to help with transdermal delivery, needle-free, mind you. How amazing is that? So needle-free transdermal delivery, along with radio frequency. You've got your Skin Individual products, so hop on over to the website to have a look at those products and create an account. And then, of course, we've got our electrolysis and IPL training, which are on sale at the moment. All right, so hopefully that helped you, and hopefully I will actually put the link up for Chrissy's tickets, so the Zing Fest event, and I will see you face to face in sunny Queensland. How cool is that? Gold Coast. All right, everyone, I will see you next Wednesday night. Take care and see you then. Bye. Thanks for joining. All right, and Facebook. Do we have any questions here? Nope. All right, have a good night.